Hello, hello, hello to everybody in this community. My name is Teresa Sanderson. I'm the preceptor for nurse entrepreneurs. I want to thank you for stopping by. Today we're talking about 3 ways to back away from burnout. So if you haven't said hello yet, please feel free to say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching me on the replay, comment hashtag replay and let me know you stopped by. So burnout in nursing is kind of a rampant thing, and I see more and more posts about this every single day. Everything from, the kind of posts that I hear and read from new nurses who feel like they're not supported in the workforce as soon as they come in and they're just, ready to throw in the towel after 6 weeks of working. And then I also hear from the longtime veteran nurses who have been in nursing for 30 years like me, or 10 years, or 15, or wherever you are on that continuum, right? Who are just saying, I'm broken. I'm broken now. Enough. The stress is enough. This pandemic has really taken its toll on me, right? And pandemic is one thing, and then there's nursing in general that kind of takes its toll on us, right? So anyway, know that I hear you, I feel you. I have been where you are, and so really, I want to chat about this today because I love nurses. I love nursing. I have experienced burnout that led to major or clinical depression and took me out of the workforce for 3 years. So when I share information about burnout, it really comes from the perspective of I don't want anyone to experience what I went through. And I want to let you know how important it is to act on the warning signs that you see that you may be experiencing burnout, and encourage you to take some action so that you can end up better off than I was. Trust me, those 3 years of going through major depression, that I couldn't work. Somebody said to me about that not too long ago, said, Teresa, it's great that you were able to do that, but if I took myself out of the workforce for 3 years, I'd be broke. Well, trust me, we lived on about $400 a week at that time. It was not planned. It was not a vacation. It was not anything I did for self-care purposes. It was an absolute requirement. I could not work. And there was a time during those 3 years that I didn't know if I'd come back to work as a nurse or not. And that was a really hard time when I thought about surrendering my license because I just couldn't see it. I was so sick. Couldn't see if there was a way back. So, what are the 3 things you need to do to back away from burnout? Okay. Number one would be acknowledge it. Okay. You need to own it. If you're feeling symptoms of burnout, if you're just feeling that sense of dread before you go in, if you have heightened anxiety overnight before you go into work, or maybe even all day while you're at work, if you are having labile mood swings, just really volatile mood swings, and maybe crying for no reason for long periods of time. I've been there. I've been there. I know what that looks like. If all of a sudden you find you just can't get out of bed anymore, it happens. It happens. And these are things, yeah, it sounds like depression, right? Well, that's what it looks like because that's what it leads to, okay? You might find you're getting very irritable. You're very short-tempered with your family members, with your coworkers, even with your patients. Things get hard. You might even find that you're more prone to making errors and you have trouble focusing or concentrating. The brain fog is real that comes on with this kind of thing. So I want you to, number one, just acknowledge it. Because if you can acknowledge it and recognize it, that's going to prompt you, I hope, to do some other things. Because I want you to look at yourself, turn that clinical looking glass and turn it on you and look at yourself. Take a long, hard look at how you're performing, how you're behaving. How's your attitude? How's your mindset? Are you positive? Are you, did you used to be positive and you're not so positive anymore? How are your moods as compared to the way they used to be, right? Do a self-assessment, do a self-check-in with this thing because this is really, really important to your overall health and wellness, okay? Major depression was a road I never dreamed I would be on, and people tell me, oh my gosh, you're one of the most positive people I've ever met. Well, I think we hear that a lot, don't we? That we would never have expected the person who has depression to be struggling. And I think it's the same with nurses and burnout because those nurses who are burning out, they're the ones that are picking up their phone on their day off and saying, yeah, I'll come in and help. Okay. That's a lot of it, right? Or they're the ones who are calling in and wondering, am I going to lose my job? You know, I really need, I can't work the days I'm assigned, you know? So it's on one of those two sides of things is where you're going to find it, but I encourage you to acknowledge it. Okay. And when you acknowledge it, that's going to prompt the second thing, which is to take some action. Take some action. This is going to be very, very important. And what that action can look like, there's a few things, but I would definitely encourage you, regardless of whether or not you feel you'll be supported by your supervisor, but I encourage you to communicate this with your supervisor and maybe even put it in writing. I'm experiencing these symptoms and I need some help. Okay. And hopefully your organization will have something like an employee assistance program that can help you with maybe some free counseling and other different resources for your mental health. All right. Maybe even some scheduling options and things like that. So I encourage you to do that. You've got to take some action. And then, okay, here's the kicker is that when you take that action, you need to, connect yourself with clinical resources too, right? You may need to see your doctor, you may need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor, and those things are okay. There is no fault in that. But I remember the stigma. I remember not wanting anybody to know. And we live in a very small community, like there are like 10,000 people in our county. And and I didn't want anybody to know because I just thought it would just ruin my reputation as a nurse. And so I insisted on going 90 miles one way to Kansas City to get the therapy that I needed. And I went 3 times a week. It was brutal, but I just wanted that anonymity. Today, I absolutely don't care. I'm kind of like the poster child for recovery, but I think this is really an important thing to think about. So you need to be able to take the action steps that will be necessary, all right? And just walk through that. Walk through it and be brave and just do it. The next thing you need is to be consistent and follow up. Okay, so that means that if somebody recommends a medicine for you in the short term, please take it. If you need something for anxiety, please take it. If you need therapy, please go. Do these things that are recommended because you can back away from this. But it's kind of like when we tell our patients, these are the things that you need to do to back away from diabetes or heart disease or anything like that. And if they pick and choose, well, I'll do this one, I won't do that one. What kind of success are they going to have? It's the same thing for us as nurses. We have to commit to the program and then follow through. So I hope this is helpful for you. If I can help you in any way, by all means, please send me a personal message. Even just add the word burnout to it. I'm glad to chat with you. And if I can help you or guide you in any way, I'm happy to do that because this is a huge thing right now. We need to take care of each other. I also have, just so you know, I have a couple of free nursing continuing ed courses that are available for you. I'll put a link to those below here. But one of them is about assertive communication skills for nurses, and the other one is the pleasure and power of aromatherapy for self-care. So you can access those, and they're actually free CEs for life. And I'm going to be adding to that library there at least 1 or 2 CEs every single month, and they're all going to be related to self-care. So I would love to have you join and become part of my website over at thenursingconnection.com. Sign up for your free account. Everything you're going to get there is totally free. My gift to you as a give back to nursing for giving me a life and a career for the last 30 years. But thank you for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well, and if I can help you, please reach out. Thanks so much. Bye.